So our device is the Dynavox VMax with the Eyegaze accessory, and it is produced by Mayor Johnson. I'm going to show you how to turn the device on and how to set up a new user. So to turn the device on, all you do is you hold down the power button until create a new user. What you're going to do is you're going to press down on the tools button, which is the triangle, and then press setup menu. And then on this screen, when it gets to setup menu, you're going to go to user setup wizard. And in this form, you can fill in all your personal information for the new user. You click next, and it'll give you things like address, phone number to make it more personal for the user to use. And then once you're done with all the information, then you click finish, and that would be how you would create your new user.
A variety of different symbols available on each page setup that you create. They can be pictures, words, pictures with words. You can do a visual scene, you can do a keyboard. There's a lot of great options with the Dynavox software. I'm going to show you how to change what you see on the screen. You would change it because the client is either a child or an adult, so you need to make it user-friendly for that person. So you go to the main menu, page editing, modify pages, and then here is where you can kind of choose your layout. So here we're in the 12 buttons folder under functional emergent. So these are all 12 button options. You can also change it to 6 buttons depending, that would be more new user, child user. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can make it more. To modify a button, you want to go to the modify, hit modify up here, the green button, and then you would just either, if you want to edit a button, you would hit one that's already being used to change that, or in this case, I could make this a new button. Okay, so I made this button play puppets. So once you enter it in on the screen, press OK. Now it's going to ask you to choose a symbol. I think this symbol works great. And now the audio cue is what it's going to say when you hit that button. So I'm going to type the same thing. Play puppets. And okay. And yeah, you can also change the button color, the border color, the text color, the font, and if they can actually see it or hide it. Other than that, I think it looks great. So when you're done, just press OK. And now you see, play puppets.
So to change your loudness and the voice of your device, you go to the tools menu, so this the triangle, then setup, and then speech controls. And here are your speech controls where you can pick your language. So there's English, French, German, and Spanish. And then the manufacturer, so you can pick voices from all different groups. So we have it on AT&T Labs. You could also do Microsoft, Verifox, Acapella Group. And then go to voice. These are all the AT&T voices. So we have multiple ones. We can go to Audrey. And to test your voice, this is also the volume. So you can go higher or lower. And then the rate at which they would speak. So we can test voice. And whenever you want to change pronunciations on certain things.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
There's Audrey. So whenever you want to change pronunciations, you would press the pronunciation exception. And so now we're going to teach you how to back up your information after you've kind of put it towards your client. So what we're going to do is press up the tools menu, setup menu, user manager, and whatever your user is on, it's going to light up and highlight. If you want to change it, you can change it as well. We're going to keep it on child. There you go. You can also save your current user settings at this point if you wanted to, but it'll also save it up in the backup selected user. So we're going to click backup selected user. It's going to ask you, would you like to back up your photos? Yes. And it's also going to ask you if you would like to include your saved emails and email settings with your backup. Yes. And so then it's just going to take a little while and save all of your information and data. And before you do this, you want to make sure you have your USB or your compact flash card in. Your USB cord is on this left side right here, and the place where you put your compact card is right here on the right side. If you wanted to save it that way, you can. So I have a USB in, but it's not showing up on here, but it would be showing up right here underneath this backup. Usually the drive letters might be D, E, or F for your USB. So you would click your card and then press name, and this is where you get to name your user on your card. So you would usually kind of put a name and then a date to kind of help you find it. So I'm going to put Alonzo 10-8. Close that. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to teach you how to use the access method, which is the Eyegaze. And so what we would do is go to Setup menu, and right here it says Selection Method. We would, instead of touch enter, we would go down to Eye Tracking, and once we hit Eye Tracking, we can go into Selection Method Settings. And so here we can change the settings of the eye tracker. We could change that whenever they look at it with a, we could choose options with just a blink, or you can have a dwell, a blink and dwell, or an external switch. When we hit dwell, you can go to dwell settings, and you can change the amount of time they needed to select a button. Okay, and there's also settings for each different selection. So with blink, you have the same options. You go to blink settings, and you can do primary action, secondary action, and change all of that. And then you also have a highlighting setting, so you can decide whether if you want it highlighted or not. Right now it has on a red button, so it means the outline of the color, the outline of the button that the person has selected would turn red until it clicked it. And also it has audio feedback, which can be optional as well. You can have the click or the not to kind of tell them if they've clicked the option that they wanted. And here's the 5 number of targets, which is good. And the background color, whatever you select, would be yellow. And if you wanted to go to quick calibrate, you can go to quick calibrate, and it would calibrate it for you on a screen. And then you can also have advanced settings or eye track status. Whenever it's all ready for you, just press OK, and then OK, and then you're back to the main menu.
Now I'm going to tell you how to record your own voice onto the system. First, you will go to the main menu button, the blue down arrow, Setup, Tools menu, and then here you'll see the sound browser. Here are all the sounds that are already in the system. All the phonemes, different songs, everything. To make a new sound, you would go to New, name it, and then once it's in there, Shanna. And now it's in there, and we can save it by pressing OK. You can play it back, or you can record it again. So we'll assume it's good and press OK. And now it is in the sound browser folder. Okay, now we're going to talk about some advanced features that the Dynavox system can do. One of the really cool things that a lot of these systems can do is program remote controls. So to do that, menu, setup, tools menu, and then you click on the IR browser. Here you would make my remote control, and then in this case with this system we want to create a new remote control. And then from there on out, you tell the system what you're making, what kind of remote control it is, like what you're going to do with it. You would choose, and then you would choose a name. You'd pick the manufacturer. You'd find the code, kind of like you would program any other new remote that you buy. And then learn each command if necessary. So that's how you do remote control. It can also act as a camera, so that's really cool. Email and text messaging, you can set up your own email account in the tools menu too. So options, you would enter in user information, logon information, and then information on the server to connect your email to the device. And it can work as an MP3 player. You can upload songs and listen to them through your device. And you can also look at ebooks. So I personally called the Dynavox company, the 800 number, to contact someone about how to add more voice recordings onto the Dynavox. I personally didn't have a great experience calling Dynavox. Since Mayor Johnson does more than just make devices, you have to kind of click through a bunch of numbers before you actually get where you want. Once I did reach the Dynavox software where I needed to call, I sat on hold for about 15 minutes before I eventually gave up. There are other options in finding technical support for the device. They really recommend using live chat options on their website, and there also is a question and answer forum on the website.
So now that we've gone through everything, we're going to teach you how to turn off the device. So what we're going to do is just like a computer screen, you're going to go to the X. Are you sure you want to exit? And say yes. Okay, so when it exits out of the Dynavox software, then it's going to come just up to a regular computer screen. So you just, like always, start and then shut down. And then it's all done. That's how you turn off your Dynavox. Press OK.